A warm welcome to you. I'm Linda Akibe. Now, on the 26th and 27th of July, the Senate and the House of Representatives voted on 33 bills to amend the 1999 Constitution. The sections amended and the entire process has elicited nationwide debate. Some Nigerians have raised dust over why the National Assembly voted against devolution of powers at a time when there is a clamor for restructuring of the federation and governance structure. We had an interview with the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and I brought up some of the concerns which Nigerians have raised about the recent drive by the National Assembly to amend the 1999 Constitution.
If you look at the 29 bills that finally scales through, you're ranging from budget process. As you know, for many years, the major issues has always been budget not passed on time. Budget passed, May, June. Executive not bringing the budget on time, bringing it in December. So one of the amendment we've done budget process is that the president must bring the budget 90 days before end of the year, and we must pass it, before end of the year. So that's huge. I think that would go a long way in putting an end to this unhealthy budget process where we see budget not being passed till way into the new year. Then you talk about saving. I remember when I was a governor, it was a major issue where you talk about savings. The sovereign wealth fund was set up. Though it was set up, we knew it was running contrary to the Constitution, because the Constitution now says that every money must go into federation account. And we know that today no modern economy is built around that. We must have savings. And now we've made a constitutional amendment that says 10% most. These are things that the Nigeria of the future would definitely be different.
Some argue that this phase of constitutional amendment smacks of self-interest and selfishness on the part of the National Assembly. Take, for instance, the inclusion of the immunity clause in the Constitution. You're asking, why is immunity in the Constitution, that even though we know it's for immunity against utterances on the floor of the Parliament, it could also cover other ancillary issues. So why is immunity included?
But it doesn't. And I think there's a role that organizations like yourself need to portray the right kind of message. The immunity has nothing to do with corruption, it has nothing to do with criminal charges. It's completely different. It's pretty much, it's just saying the obvious. Immunity was even a strong word. In other countries, they call it irresponsibilities. They don't even use the word immunity, because immunity is being portrayed as if you are protecting a member of parliament if he does anything that's criminal or is corrupt. That's not what it says. It just says that in the process of your work, just like a member of the police or who is investigating a case and he finds you not guilty, you can't turn around and sue him for damages. So in the process of your work, which is you're speaking on the floor and you say something, nobody can go around and based on that, so it gives you the ability to perform better. It doesn't.
But the Privileges Act, it's included that whatever a lawmaker says on the floor, he has immunity over his utterances. So why include it in the Constitution amendment?
I think it's just to strengthen that message. It does not expand it. It's for emphasis. I don't think it expands, and I think it's important for us to clear that, very clear, that it doesn't give immunity against, any kind of misappropriation or corruption or any criminal. Definitely not, and that's very well spelled out in the words in that. It's just for emphasis on the privileges. Maybe a better would not have even used immunity, really. I've said the same thing.
Now, since the constitutional amendment was done last week, there's been this debate about, do we actually need to amend the Constitution piecemeal as we're doing it, or wouldn't it be better for us to do a brand new Constitution to get consensus?
I don't think so. It's easier addressing it this way. And some of these issues have been pending for a while. They're not new things that we designed in the 8th National Assembly. Some of these issues have been on the drawing board for last 12 years, issue of, autonomy to some of those offices, the issue of local government autonomy. They've been there. They've attempted and not scaled through in the past. So It's a case of a backlog of amendments that should have taken place, but unfortunately the previous National Assemblies or the previous National Assembly plus the executive were not able to make it happen. We in the 8th National Assembly have made it happen, and it is something that should have been long overdue. So it's not going to be something that next year there will be another massive review. Don't forget, as I said, this is a reviews that have been attempted over two or three life of different parliaments, but has not been achieved. And so I don't think that to say that because we're doing that means you should go and rewrite the Constitution. There's nothing wrong in the Constitution per se. There are parts of it that either from experience we've seen that, oh, that's an omission, or that's not working as, but maybe you need to fine tune, and that's what that's doing.
The legitimacy of the entire process is also being called to question, because some have said Nigerians were not actually properly consulted within the both committees and National Assembly didn't reach far and wide to get consensus from Nigerians on these issues, which are quite weighty issues. So the legitimacy of the whole process is being called to question.
No, I don't think so. First of all, as I said, the document that we're producing is not completely new. If you remember when we started the constitutional review, we said the first one we're going to do is the ones that have already got consensus on, where there were stakeholders meetings in different geopolitical to years gone by. As I said, if you look at this constitutional review, most of those items are not completely new. They've gone through discussions by different constituencies. They've been discussed at different levels, at state levels. But unfortunately, either due to the last time where Mr. President, former President refused to sign it, or previously where the National Assembly did not pass it through. So it is that we've come. So it's not something that the people, the Parliament, the members of the National Assembly represent have not really engaged with. Now, there's some that, for example, like the ones that did not pass, like the devolution ones, where people felt, okay, this one, we need more time. We can't pass this at this point in time.